What are you doing?
Getting ready to have sex.
Welcome to Cartoon Insider, where cartoonists talk about animation, comics, and all things related to the industry that we love. For today's episode, I'd like to welcome executive and supervising producer of Harley and its new spin-off series, Kiteman, Hell Yeah, debuting July
Hell yeah.
18th on Max.
Hell yeah.
Jen Coyle,
Hi.
welcome to the show.
Thank you. I will let you talk, Vincent. I'm very excited about Kite Man. Hell yeah. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you, Vincent.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. Like I usually do, I talk a little bit about, um, our how we know each other, and that will actually lead us up to your show. But a little background info before we jump into that is I was your episode director on Harley. We worked together at the old NBC Studios building where they filmed the old Johnny Carson talk show. That was a lot of fun.
It was, but I
Yeah.
think I know you from way back longer.
Oh, we do. That's true.
Uh,
We go
uh,
all the way back to Sony as far as
Sony, there was
knowing.
a little King of the Hill there.
Oh, the King of the Hill. That's right.
we've
Yeah.
we've done it all.
Yeah.
Vint and I both have worked on both comedy and action, and
Hmm.
that was number one, job number one on Harley, and continues to be on Kite Man.
Right. That's the thing about both these shows is, I mean, I didn't work on Kite Man, but if it's anything like Harley, it requires you to draw upon all the skills that you've acquired during your career. And you've got to be funny, you've got to hit the drama, and you've got to have exciting action. So it's like
Absolutely. It's
picture.
it's it's a lot of work sometimes. Kite Man is a lot like Harley, and we've gotten some really good um articles written about us so far, some really good reviews, and the consensus is it's a good successor to the Harley show, um or addition to the Harley verse, I should
Yeah.
say. Yeah, it's the same kind of raunchy humor. It's the same kind of well, we drop a lot of the F-bombs and we splatter the camera with blood liberally, but it's really all about love. And I mean that. I'm very excited about the show. Kite Man and Golden Glider are going to be the it couple this year,
Nice.
I think.
The Harley was the same way, except it was Harley and Poison Ivy.
Right.
Kite Man was like the odd man out on that one.
Yeah, Kite Man was kind of just a vehicle was in between Harley and
Yeah.
Ivy, but we really get to see him come into his own this year.
Yeah.
And he's in love with Golden Glider. So Kite Man is a villain who has, one skill. He has a kite. His other skill is optimism. He's the kind of guy who'll take it in the chin and get right back up again. But he's dating Golden Glider, who is basically a killing machine. She she has a little bit of a temper on her, and when she can't control it, she has these like astral projection that comes out with these ribbons that can basically slice and dice stone, as well as people. So they have an interesting dynamic together. They kind of balance each other out. Um, Kite
Oh,
is funny
yeah.
because Kite Man always wants the power, and
Hmm.
then Golden Glider has it and doesn't really want it because it's so troublesome.
And
Anyway,
it's sort of like a Cheers setup where he
yes.
owns the bar, right?
Yes, well, in the first episode, they decide to buy their favorite bar, Noonan's, which has appeared on Harley. That's where Harley met Clayface in episode 3.
Mhm.
And so the Noonan's bar is part of the DC universe, of course, and it's owned by Sean Noonan, who is appears in the comic Hitman. So we kind of pulled on that resource a little bit. So Noonan is played by Jonathan Banks from Better Call Saul, and he's kind of this like grizzly, like he's seen it all kind of veteran. But in the first episode, as I mentioned, Kite Man and Golden Glider decide to buy this bar, and it's a sort of a place where the low level villains, like the C and the D level listers, kind of congregate, and they have some ancillary characters that are going to be part of the series. The Double Brothers are conjoined twins, and they're played by Michael Imperioli. And then we're going to have a woman named Malice, who is actually Darkseid's niece, and she's played by Natasha Demetrio from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yeah,
And
I love her.
we're she's amazing.
Yeah.
And we're also going to have Queen of Fables back, um, but she's no longer played by Wanda Sykes.
Janelle James.
Janelle James, thank you.
All right. No.
Um, and Jeff, let's see. And then we've got
A
one
new,
more I'm
a
going to
new, a
stumble
new
over.
Lex Luthor. It looks like.
Well, yes, we have a new Lex Luthor. This is Lance Riddick playing the Lex Luthor role
Hmm.
in his last ever role. We kind of lost him halfway through the season,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and we had to write around it. It was
Oh,
very
crazy.
sad.
That
Yeah.
is. Wow.
Um, yes. We also, like I should mention that Golden Glider is played by Stephanie Shu, who is nominated for an Oscar
Wow.
for Everywhere, Everything All at Once. What, am I saying that right?
Oh,
Oh,
that's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
she's great. Yeah.
She really was great, and like she and Matt Oberg are like perfect complements to each other.
Hmm.
And it's funny watching the show how well, like how you feel they have a real relationship, but they have
Mhm.
actually never met. So
Oh,
I
in the recordings even, everyone's
mm,
recording separately ever
that's
since the
correct, yeah.
pandemic, right? Nobody actually gets together in a room anymore,
Hmm.
but it still works out, so that's good. Do you
Yes.
feel like something's been is that more challenging to since they're not in a room together, sort of feeding off?
Uh, you know what? It seems more and more the way that things are done. And
Mhm.
I think it's especially with actors like this, um, they're so busy and they're all in different countries, and we're lucky to get them when we can.
Mhm.
But I remember, I think Spectacular Spider-Man was the last show that I worked on where the
Mhm.
actors would be in a room together, and that was always really fun.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it would be fun. It just
Mhm.
I don't think it works out mostly, you know.
You don't get to meet him in person anymore. It's like on Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Mark Hamill played Claw, and I actually
Oh,
well,
awesome.
I went to the records and there he was. I was like, Mark Hamill, let me be
Yeah.
a fanboy and take a picture with you. Yeah.
Yes, I remember those days too. I haven't been to an actual physical record. I went to some on Harley,
Hmm.
but mostly I don't go to the voice records because my other EPs, the
Right.
writers of the show, Chris and Dean,
Hmm.
like have a great relationship, and we also have a voice director. So I feel like it's overkill for
Good.
sometimes.
Hmm.
Also, there's other things to do around the house,
Oh
so
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, you were, are your duties pretty much the same on Kiteman as they were on Harley? As you're a producer slash executive producer? Is that the official?
yeah, this is
Hmm.
my first executive producer title
Oh, awesome.
on Kite Man. Hell yeah,
Mhm.
I was co-exec
Yeah.
EP on the last season of Harley, but generally speaking, it's the same.
Okay.
I
Very hands-on. This is not, you're not the executive producer that just watches something in the edit room. You're like getting in there and drawing and
no
reboarding and wearing all
uh
kinds of hats.
design,
Yeah.
color, all of
Hmm.
that stuff. I will literally do anything that needs doing.
Hmm.
If like we never have as big a budget or as big a crew as
Hmm.
we would like, so there's always plenty of things to do, and
Hmm.
managing, keeping all the designs, keeping the execs happy with the designs, keeping
Hmm.
the EPs happy, making sure that the designs, the backgrounds, characters work for story is a big job.
Yeah.
And then of course there's the minutia of um these episodes, which
Mhm.
are dense, as you know, Benton.
Yeah.
Like, so these are some of the most dense episodes I worked on in my career, Harley and Kite Man.
Oh, for sure. I would say without a doubt it's the most challenging show, or just because of the reasons we already discussed. Um,
Yep.
you know, to achieve what needs to be done to get it where it needs to be. And actually I really appreciate your patience with me in the beginning of
Oh my God.
because
You are lovely to work with.
well, thank
And
you.
it was a joy.
Yeah.
And we all just, I think that's the best thing is like we all kind of work as a team
Hmm.
to help back each other up.
Mm,
So,
absolutely.
I think that's how you get it done.
Hmm. So like what was like how did Kite Man what was the process of Kite Man becoming greenlit? Like whose idea was it to have this go?
Ah, you know what? I actually I remember hearing rumors at the end of Harley's season 3 roundabouts and while we were doing the Valentine's Day episode.
Hmm.
And I remember the guys early on joking, like, people love Kite Man, and people really love Kite Man. We should just give him his own spinoff. And
Hmm.
um and then I just heard rumors about it being pitched back and
Yeah.
forth with Max. So and then they were like, and it's greenlit. So I really wasn't part of that process, but
Oh, okay. Just like
glad to.
yeah,
Yeah.
the same creators, Justin
Hmm.
and Dean Lorey and um
Yes, it's
Patrick.
Dean Lurie, Patrick Schumacher, and Justin
Mhm.
Halpern.
Right, right.
And then Kaylee Cuoco is still our executive producer on Kite Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm. So it wasn't as hard it just happened pretty easily because Harley
I
was
think it's,
such a
yeah, like
success.
Harley is such a success.
Hmm.
And I think we have with that group of writers, we have some of the most talented people
Yeah.
I've met in my whole
Hmm.
life. Like I
For
think
sure.
that I think Max like takes them seriously, and
Hmm.
as well they should. And very proud of them,
Yeah, they'll have primetime live action credits coming.
Sure. I mean, Patrick and Justin are writing Abbott Elementary right now, which
Hmm.
is doing wonderfully, I hear. And Dean, um, he's on I don't even know the name of it. He does live action shows. I most recently working with David E. Kelly. So he's pretty fancy. They're all so smart and funny. Chris Mars is also joining us as one of our co-EPs this season, as well as Katie Rich.
Hmm.
They are both lovely, funny, amazing people. Katie um, was a writer on SNL
Oh, cool.
for a long time, and Chris is a live action actor and writer. He's just so funny. He does a lot of our scratch. The two of them did a lot of scratch audio for us. And they nail it every time. Like
Mhm.
they've been really wonderful to work with.
Yeah, this is a as an adult animated more of a prime time level comedy. It works, you work with a radio play. So in most of the cases on most shows, it's just individually recorded lines that we sew together.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's really hard though, isn't it? Um,
well, the radio play or the
Well, actually, it's hard both ways.
yeah.
You know what? I've done it both ways. Um, I think a lot of the artists find the radio plays when you first start working with them because our EPs will do the recording and then they will get in there and they will remove air and they make sure that the dialogue overlaps and they'll get
Yeah.
it just how they want it, just to
Mhm.
time as much as we can
Mhm.
before. And then we give it to the board artists and say, don't open the track. And
Right.
like, that for a lot of especially newer board artists is like
Mhm.
like, but I can't make this fit, I can't make this work, and that's why we tell them, if you have to if you have to open the track, please discuss it with your director and everything.
Mhm.
But I
But
don't know. I
it makes sense for a show like this with the writers being as strong as they are, that
Sure,
because to get just that right timing back and forth between the characters.
sure. I'll be honest, we storyboard people, we have our own world and our own timing, our own like storyboard time is like no other on earth, right? Like
Mhm.
because it takes so long to do each panel that like kind of it's easy to lose track of like the forest for the trees like
Sure. Yeah.
so I've had to recently do some things too that I had to do it the old fashioned way, which is just cut in one line of dialogue and the next. And you really kind of have to like it's very easy to have something be very long and have a lot of air in it and stuff, which doesn't necessarily make for the greatest thing to watch.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
helpful and scary at first, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah. I just did I got off of it, an editing session where our initial animatic was 30 minutes for a
Yeah,
22
that
minute.
happens really easy. I'm
But
sorry.
and I was like, how are we going to get this down? This is but really, yes, kind of to what you said. There's just a lot, once we got it down, it seemed like such a daunting task, but it actually made the episode better, tight.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember I had a Spider-Man episode that I had to cut 8 minutes out of
Hmm.
until 3 o'clock in the morning. Like,
Oh, yeah,
but
been
it's
there.
always, yeah, always a push and pull. More action, more, more acting, more comedy.
Yeah.
We get there. We haven't had so much overages. Like the radio plays help to avoid
Hmm. Right.
massive overages,
That's
but
all timed.
sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah, sometimes I found like within the action scenes is where
Yeah,
sometimes we needed to kind of change things or open it up more. Like
yeah,
as the
absolutely.
characters are fighting and talking, that kind of stuff. Maybe they need efforts or but
Yes, absolutely.
but yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new show. I mean, Harley was an amazing experience and just, some of my favorite episodes I worked on in my career, which is pretty long at this point, but the Batman Begins Forever, of course. That was one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
that turned out wonderfully.
Alfred, are the ears too big? I think they're too big.
Yeah, and
I'm proud of that.
I really like the Mr. Freeze episode too that I worked on.
I love the Mr. Freeze
Yeah,
episode. That's
yeah.
one of my favorites.
Hmm.
So, how'd y'all meet? Was she alive then?
It's a funny story. Nora, you tell it better than I do.
Oh, and this is to the credit of the writers that Nora's always been seen as this like this frozen damsel in distress, this unattainable, untouchable
Right.
vision of purity. And
Yeah.
once we wake her up, she's trouble.
Yeah.
Uh, I always thought that was funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was the Mr. Freeze episode you did was very touching.
No, thank you. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to mention about the show or
Just I really want to do a shout out for the people who really never get shout outs, which is the art crew. Like the writers are amazing and but we couldn't do it without the artists.
Mhm.
And the actors are amazing, but yes, at some point cartoons all depend on people to take them and draw them.
Right.
So I want to say with Harley Quinn and Kite Man, hell yeah, which is I mean a lot of the same people are on each crew. I have worked with some of the most incredible talented people that are dedicated and will work late and will put in the extra, and when it's hard they keep going. I'm so proud of all of the artists, board artists, character designers, ink and paint, and background art directors. I count most of them as real longtime personal friends. And yeah, I'm proud of you all.
Thanks. Yeah, great. Harley's definitely also known for just great character design, great art design, backgrounds, color.
Sure.
Are most of those are there new people working on the new one, or did you carry over?
Oh, well, the Harley crew is pretty much the same. Like directors and storyboard artists are tough to maintain because they kind of go in and out, but we have a couple of mainstays on the show.
Mhm.
Adam Van Wyck and
Mhm.
Brandon McKinney
Mhm.
are like there are axie guys.
Mhm.
There are action monsters. And we were lucky that we've had them through all seasons of Harley and now through Kite Man. And Shane Glines for character design has
Mhm.
been also character designer for all of those seasons and Kite Man. And let's see, Jesse Silver has been
Mhm.
with us since the beginning. He's our lead color and can paint person. We've had different art directors, but Brian Johnson is amazing, and he's been with us since season 3
Mhm.
on Harley and through Kite Man as well. Um, anyway, I'm leaving out tons and tons of amazing people. Uh, Painters, Richard Zeeler, Martin,
Mhm.
our background designers like Jason Park and Jeff Purvis, and I am leaving out tons of people. Rodell Gravo. Anyway,
Mhm.
I these
Nice.
are all
Yeah.
wonderful, talented people.
Yeah. So it really is a lot of the same team members from Harley and creative
Yeah.
people
Well,
just moving on to this new show.
yes. Well, that was actually our hope that we could alternate seasons of Kite Man and Harley
Mhm.
Quinn.
Mhm.
Um, but we have uh we have to see how Kite Man does in the ratings before we know anything
Mhm.
about a pickup.
All right. Fingers
So
crossed.
thank you, indeed.
Yeah.
I have a good feeling about it.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Great, Jen.
All
I
right.
think
Well,
that about covers it.
thanks, Minton. It's
Mhm.
been really nice to talk to you.
Yeah. Shout out to Ceci and Ian too.
Yeah, I will. Ceci's still finishing season 5 of Harley,
Oh, cool.
and Ian is at Bento Box again. So,
Oh, okay.
mhm,
Very
mhm.
cool. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
glad we're all busy. I mean, you're getting a little bit of a break, I guess, right now, but then
Not really. No, I'm not. There's no breaks just yet.
oh
I
no.
hope
Oh,
it.
so you're actually still like kind of finishing up
Oh,
production.
I just down to the minute. We're working on Comic Con sizzle right now.
Oh my,
So
oh wow. Okay. I
yeah.
better let you go pretty soon.
No, we've done well.
Well, till next time.
Thanks so much.
Alls I know is when I was a kid, I'd sit in my room and I'd dream about being a supervillain. My mom would knock on the door and say, Chuck, what are you doing in there? And I'd say, not masturbating. And she'd say, that feels like something a masturbator would say while masturbating. And I'd be all like, Mom, I will tell you when I'm masturbating.
Jesus fuck! Stop telling that nasty ass story.
Time to wing it! Ooh, it's wet, it's gross.
We must prepare for all-out war!